Bilal Muhammad has released a public statement following his loss to Ian Gary. After a highly anticipated matchup that ended in disappointment for him, Bilal took to Instagram to share his emotions and address his supporters. He posted a photo along with a heartfelt caption, acknowledging both the outcome and the support he continues to receive. In his message, Bilal wrote that they could not get the job done this time, but he expressed deep appreciation for Doha and the memories created during fight week. He extended gratitude to his team, family, and friends, emphasizing that they stand by him regardless of the result. Bilal also thanked fans and anyone who continues to support him throughout his career. He concluded with the words, "Alhamdulillah for everything," showing that even in defeat, he remains grateful for the opportunities that come his way. He added that he feels blessed to be where he is, and he reminded everyone that there is still work to do. The message reflects maturity, accountability, and resilience. Bilal Muhammad has always been known for his determination and professionalism, and this statement reinforces that image. Losses in mixed martial arts can be devastating, especially on a big stage where expectations run high, but Bilal chose to focus on gratitude and improvement rather than excuses. His acknowledgement of support from fans and loved ones indicates how much the emotional connection with his audience means to him. He understands the pressure, but he also understands that the journey in this sport is built on ups and downs. Last night's event was intense, and although Bilal was unable to secure the outcome he trained for, the setback does not change his identity as a top-tier competitor. Fighters often say that defeats teach them more than victories, and Bilal's words show that he is channeling the loss into motivation for the future. By saying there is work to do, he has made it clear that he plans to return stronger and continue chasing his goals inside the octagon. For fans and analysts, this statement serves as a reminder of the mental toughness that is required at the highest level of the sport. Bilal Muhammad remains committed, focused, and grateful. His journey is not over, and his response to adversity shows why many believe he will bounce back and remain a factor in the division. Ian Gary explained his side of the backstage altercation with Khamzat Chimaev following the event. During the post-fight press conference, Gary detailed how the confrontation unfolded and why he believes the situation escalated unnecessarily. He stated that he approached Chimaev and Arman Tsarukyan with nothing but respect after their performances. According to Gary, he congratulated Tsarukyan and then walked over to Chimaev, addressing him in a friendly manner and asking when fans could expect to see him return to competition. Gary said Chimaev responded positively, patting him on the back, and everything seemed normal until a security guard stepped between them. Gary insisted that there was no hostility at that moment and that he believed Chimaev had no intention to fight him. Gary then described how the atmosphere suddenly shifted and what he referred to as childish energy emerged. He claimed that Chimaev tried to push him and that the moment felt unnecessary and unprovoked. Gary turned around and told Chimaev that he should act like a champion, not like a child looking for attention, especially on a night when a friend of his had just earned a victory. Gary said that behavior such as this takes attention away from the fighter who actually won and turns the post-fight celebration into manufactured drama. He encouraged Chimaev to slow down, calm down, and show respect rather than trying to steal the spotlight. Gary also said that the deeper issue was insecurity and the need to appear tough. He insisted that someone with the reputation Chimaev has does not need to prove anything by forcing altercations backstage. In his view, a true champion does not need anger management outbursts or theatrical aggression to remain relevant. Gary finished his statement by saying that he remains confident he will face Chimaev one day and will settle the matter inside the octagon, not in a hallway. Chimaev also addressed the situation in his own appearance at the press conference. He argued that Gary touched him from behind in a way that did not seem respectful, and that if someone truly wants to show admiration, they should do it properly. Chimaev said he believes Gary approached him only to create hype and attention, trying to imitate Conor McGregor's personality, but that Gary would never reach that level. He dismissed the encounter as unnecessary drama and stated that he prefers not to entertain such behavior. Arman Tsarukyan shared his reaction to receiving a $50,000 performance bonus following his victory over Dan Hooker. After an intense matchup that ended with a decisive submission, Tsarukyan was informed backstage that he had earned one of the event's performance bonuses. His response reflected both gratitude and pride, but also a sense of calm professionalism that has become characteristic of him throughout his UFC career. Tsarukyan expressed that the acknowledgement meant a lot to him because it represented recognition for the hard work, dedication, and risks that come with competing at the highest level. He clarified that while money itself is not his primary motivation, the bonus symbolizes the respect of the organization and the fans who appreciate high-level performance. The reward, from his perspective, is proof that sacrifices and tough training camps are worth it. He also acknowledged his team, coaches, and training partners for their contributions, saying that success is never achieved alone. According to Tsarukyan, every member of his support system plays a role in helping him perform at the highest level. He explained that he has endured long and difficult preparation for this fight, and securing a submission finish over a respected and highly experienced opponent like Dan Hooker made the night even more special. Tsarukyan mentioned that the bonus adds to the emotions of victory, but what he values just as much is the positive reaction from the fans. He appreciates the people who support him across the world and stated that he is motivated not just to win but to keep improving. He emphasized that he still has bigger goals ahead, including climbing to the top of the division and earning a title opportunity. Even in celebration, Tsarukyan's reaction showed focus and discipline. He spoke about enjoying the moment, but he reiterated that there is still more work to do. He believes the lightweight division remains one of the toughest in the sport, which means there is no time to get comfortable. His mindset is centered on continuous progress, staying hungry, and proving himself against the best athletes in the world. Tsarukyan closed his remarks by saying that receiving a performance bonus is something every fighter appreciates, and he is thankful for it. At the same time, he reminded everyone that his long-term mission has not changed. As proud as he is of the victory and the recognition, he remains committed to moving forward, capturing bigger achievements, and showing that his best performances are still ahead of him. There has been growing discussion about whether Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett could be the next major fight to make. Many analysts and fans believe this matchup would sell far more tickets and draw significantly higher viewership compared to other potential pairings on the table. The rivalry already has built-in history, unresolved hostility, and contrasting personalities, making it a compelling storyline for the UFC to promote. Topuria has been vocal about wanting this fight, partially because of the intense personal exchanges between the two over the past few years and partially because their styles match well from an entertainment perspective. Another factor driving Topuria's call-out is the previously cancelled matchup between himself and Arman Tsarukyan. Topuria has faced criticism for appearing reluctant to fight Tsarukyan again after withdrawing from the scheduled bout at UFC 311 earlier in the year. When the fight fell apart, Topuria mocked Tsarukyan, saying he would have fought even if he were missing a limb. That comment resurfaced after Tsarukyan's most recent performance, with fans wondering whether Topuria is avoiding him due to the high risk. Instead, Topuria has shifted a large portion of his public attention toward Paddy Pimblett. Pimblett, however, is not coming off a win against a top 10 contender. His victory over Michael Chandler was memorable and emotional, but many observers point out that the 39-year-old Chandler is no longer in his prime. This raises the question of whether Paddy has done enough competitively to secure such a high-profile fight. Yet, despite these concerns, Pimblett remains one of the most popular athletes in the sport, and the UFC has historically leaned toward fight bookings with strong commercial value. This leads to the key debate. Given Tsarukyan's outstanding performance on Saturday and his current high ranking, will the UFC bypass him and prioritize Topuria versus Pimblett instead? It is not impossible. The UFC has a reputation for matchmaking based not only on merit but also on entertainment and market demand. If the organization sees the potential for pay-per-view success and global hype, they could move forward with Topuria versus Pimblett even though it may appear less justified from a rankings perspective. The situation places the UFC in a familiar dilemma between sporting merit and financial opportunity. If Topuria versus Pimblett gets booked, it will confirm that fan interest and storylines influence the decision heavily. If Tsarukyan is granted the opportunity first, it will show the organization prioritizing competitive fairness. For now, nothing is confirmed, but the possibility remains very real. What comes next for Ian Machado Gary following his latest UFC victory has become a major topic of discussion. Although he was unable to finish Belal Muhammad in the devastating fashion he predicted, The Irishman earned a dominant, convincing win over the former welterweight champion and continued his steady rise up the rankings. From the opening moments of the fight, Gary relied on a disciplined game plan built around sharp jabs and precise kicks that caused visible damage to Muhammad early. There was a tense moment when Muhammad suffered an eye poke, but the fight continued, and Gary remained composed. Muhammad tried repeatedly to land powerful right hands and, as the rounds progressed, leaned heavily on his wrestling. However, Gary's defensive grappling held up impressively as he consistently outstruck Muhammad and kept the momentum in his favor. By the end of the 15-minute contest, there was little doubt about the outcome, and Gary was awarded a clear unanimous decision. The attention immediately shifted to what Gary wants next. In his post-fight interview, he called for a title shot against the new welterweight champion, Islam Makhachev, stating that his win over Belal Muhammad is proof he deserves the opportunity. Gary maintained confidence and insisted that he is ready for the division summit. During the post-fight press conference, he expanded on his plans and his preparation strategy. Gary announced that he will be traveling to Georgia to train with high-level grapplers, saying that Georgia is home to exceptional wrestling, judo, and elite combat athletes. He emphasized that preparing for a fighter like Islam Makhachev requires the toughest training partners possible, and he is willing to seek them out at their source. Gary explained that he is calling on every southpaw wrestler and every athlete capable of replicating Makhachev's style to work with him in preparation for a potential title matchup. He stated that he plans to gather contact information from those willing to help and build a customized training camp around their skill sets. He described this approach as smart networking after a win, demonstrating not only ambition but strategic awareness. Rather than celebrating without focus, Gary is already making connections and taking steps toward the future. He ended his remarks by expressing gratitude for the athletes and fans in Georgia and reaffirmed that he will be seeking their support as he continues pushing toward a championship opportunity.